In a freezing town in northern Argentina, a slaughterhouse worker spent 20 years taking lives without feeling anything. Until one frightened cow looked into his eyes and changed him forever. People believed Mateo Ruiz no longer had a heart. Every day, he worked inside a slaughterhouse surrounded by blood, fear, and silence. But one winter morning, a single cow refused to leave his side. And what happened next made the butcher quit his job forever. Santa Rosa, Argentina, was a quiet town surrounded by cattle farms and cold fields. Most people there depended on animals to survive. Some raised them, some sold them, and some slaughtered them. Mateo Ruiz had worked in the slaughterhouse since he was 17 years old. Now 46, he moved through his days like a machine. Wake up before sunrise. Drive through the freezing fog. Put on heavy gloves. And spend hours surrounded by metal chains, loud machines, and terrified animals. At first, the work haunted him. But after years of hearing cries every day, Mateo forced himself to stop feeling. "Don't get attached," older workers used to say. "They're only animals." Eventually, he believed it. Or at least pretended to. But Mateo carried pain nobody understood. Years earlier, his wife Elena died from illness. After her death, he became colder and distant. His daughter Sophia tried staying close to him, but the man she loved slowly disappeared. Until one day, she left too. Since then, Mateo lived alone in silence. No laughter. No family. Only work. Then came the morning that changed everything. A truck carrying several cows arrived before sunrise. The workers pushed the frightened animals down the narrow metal path. Most trembled in fear. But one small brown cow stood completely still. She had gentle eyes and a white mark on her forehead shaped like a heart. The workers shouted impatiently, "Mateo! Move her already!" Mateo grabbed the rope roughly. But the moment the cow looked into his eyes, he froze. There was fear in her face. But somehow, trust too. As if she believed he wouldn't hurt her. Mateo quickly looked away and led her inside. Surprisingly, the cow stayed close beside him the entire morning. The workers laughed. "She likes you." Mateo ignored them. But every time he saw her watching him quietly, something inside him felt heavier. By afternoon, snow began falling outside. The workers prepared the final group of animals, including her. Then suddenly, the cow broke free. Everyone shouted, expecting chaos. But instead of running away, she ran directly toward Mateo and hid behind him. The entire room went silent. The terrified animal pressed herself against his back, trembling. And in that moment, Mateo remembered his daughter Sophia as a little girl hiding behind him during thunderstorms. For the first time in years, he felt his heart break open. He realized something painful. The animals had always been afraid. He had simply trained himself not to care. The supervisor yelled angrily, "Finish the job." But Mateo slowly removed his gloves. His voice shook. "I can't do this anymore." Nobody moved. Mateo opened the side gate leading outside. The workers shouted at him to stop. But he kept walking into the falling snow. And the cow followed closely beside him. That day, Mateo quit the slaughterhouse forever. People mocked him at first. But Mateo no longer cared. He used his savings to buy a tiny farm outside town. He named the cow Esperanza, hope. Slowly, Mateo changed. He began rescuing injured and unwanted animals. Dogs, goats, horses, creatures nobody else cared about. And for the first time in decades, he felt alive. Months later, Sophia visited the farm after hearing rumors about her father. When she arrived, she saw something she thought was gone forever. Warmth in his eyes. Not anger. Not emptiness. Humanity. "You changed," she whispered. Mateo lowered his head. "I should have changed sooner." Sophia hugged him tightly. And Mateo cried for the first time since his wife died. One quiet evening, months after opening the sanctuary, Mateo sat outside the barn watching the sunset beside Esperanza. The cold wind moved gently through the fields as rescued animals rested nearby. For the first time in years, the silence no longer felt empty. Then Sophia softly asked, "Do you ever regret leaving the slaughterhouse?" Mateo looked at Esperanza beside the fence. Then he smiled faintly. "All those years, I thought strength meant learning how not to feel anything," he said. "But that cow taught me something greater. Real strength is choosing kindness, even after life hardens your heart." And as the sun disappeared behind the snowy hills of Argentina, Mateo realized that sometimes, the ones we save end up saving us too. Sometimes one act of trust can awaken the humanity buried deep inside a broken person. Kindness changes not only animals, but people too. And no heart is ever too cold for a second chance. If an animal trusted you with its life, would you have the courage to change yours?